All right, hey guys, we're here with Joel Dirks. He's currently the king of the Golden Potato with a 239-pound Golden Potato deadlift. Pretty awesome lift. No one has challenged that in over a year.
Yeah,
So
awesome feat.
tell us a little bit about yourself, Joel.
Oh man, all right. So I am from Minnesota. I just turned 40, so now I'm a masters competitor, but not for the grip world. I think it's 50 for grip stuff. But strength journey kind of started with strongman after playing sports in college. From there, got real into strongman competing. Um, Once strongman was over, like I needed something and I needed to compete in something and do something. And I did like one or two powerlifting meets just kind of like as a rehab thing for my back when my back was not doing well. And it just wasn't for me. And I had heard about King Kong and I found one, man, maybe 2.5, 3 hours away. And I went to that. So I went to Alan Heineke's King Kong. And then from there, I just been into it.
Nice, that's awesome. So what's your favorite grip implement and what's your least favorite?
Obviously, the hoe is my favorite. I think plates. What's so cool and so unique is going to different gyms, finding different plates, different hub plates, and being able to pick them up. Um, I think that's probably my favorite because it obviously like impresses people because they most people can't do it. Uh, Least favorites we had. I think the first King Kong I ever did, there was like a stub,
Oh yeah,
a little
I
little
know what
pet.
that is.
Yeah, and everyone was like ripping their fingers on it. So I didn't even train for that contest. I just quick jumped in it, but I was nervous because I heard about everyone ripping their hand open. So I was not looking forward to that.
Yeah, no,
The old stub lift.
that's a horrible implement, that little
It is.
sucker, man. That is, yeah, that bites you really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that one myself, definitely.
yeah.
That and the finish ball.
You
The
don't like the
finish,
finish ball at all.
it's been getting better for me. It's a decent event. I think there's a lot of technique into it, and then obviously some guys are really good at putting chalk on it, so it really bites. And then I think there's a 20 or 30% of it, just like a pain tolerance thing, is kind of dealing with the pain of it for that quick. And it's a tall lift. I think it's what, 14, 16-inch lift or whatever it is, a taller
So
lift, 13.
13-inch lift,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
lift. So yeah, so it's really getting up there with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's always going to be lighter, so it's not like it's going to be hard for you to, curl it up there. So you just have to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the few lifts that can be like that and not really matter if you're tall or short. You can still definitely pick up the weight.
Try to get
Yeah.
enough chalk on it to get it, a little bit bigger.
Yeah, because I had first got mine, so I think the guy in Finland makes them or whatever, and
Yeah.
Yep.
I won, and it came so shiny, and I was like, "How are people doing this? This is nuts, right?" And then I see that theirs is all white and caked, and so I started working on chalking it up because that thing, I was not doing very good weights right away.
Yeah, I think they season a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Leave
for
them out in the garage.
Over time. I mean, they are chrome though, but they still season a little bit over time.
oh yeah.
Sure. So what motivates you to compete?
I think the biggest thing is I've always been pretty competitive. Um, Probably more so like starting high schoolish age, I really started getting competitive at stuff. And it just keeps that drive alive. It gives me a reason to go in the garage, and train and do all this stuff. Gives me another reason to put on contests so that there is, different things for people to do. That's probably my biggest thing I do now is putting on contests. There's different. We do static monsters, King Kong. We do a hex bar world deadlift championship, uh, a silver dollar deadlift, and then also like a John Paul Sigmarsson 18-inch axle deadlift world championship.
That's cool.
And so putting those on keeps me motivated too. Just because I feel like the biggest thing I want to do is get back. There's otherwise there would not be any of this stuff going on here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's why we like to host events too and give people in Northwest, a chance to come in a grip sport and try it out and see what they like and get more people involved. And it's really just a blast to even host and have everybody over.
Oh yeah, and it's tough to host it and compete. It doesn't make it easy, helping changing weights, doing all that. So
Yep.
that part's big toll. 'Cause I think my first year I put on King Kong, we had 24 people.
Whoa,
Oh, wow, that's
that's
awesome.
huge.
Yeah, so it was very interesting.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a lot of work to do and compete,
Gotta
man.
judge everybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, wait, I gotta get my lift in too."
Yeah, that's exactly it. Um, and maybe I don't know how much it affects you, but it's got to affect you a little bit. Helping with changing weights. Worrying about helping other people, getting their scores down. So it takes away a little bit of your mental game. Focusing on your lifts. Maybe good, maybe bad. If you're an overthinker, but I think I play a lot of strategy in it because you do have 4 lifts, and I don't want to miss. You know, so it makes it tough, but it's also important that these people all get to compete and do all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good point about it depends on if you're an overthinker or not, though, in regards to it helping you or not. Because yeah, I've noticed if I'm not hosting the comp, I'll definitely psych myself out a little bit more than if I am hosting and running around and doing stuff. I wind up hitting PRs usually when I wind up hosting the comps.
Sure, yeah,
Yep.
less your brain to have to think about different things, and that way you just go.
Yeah, absolutely. You just get up there, do what you got to do, done, get back to focusing on running the comp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you consider your greatest athletic achievement?
Oh man, greatest athletic achievement. I mean, it would definitely be strongman. Just competing at the level that I got to, the people I competed against. That would be probably without a doubt uh, the greatest like strength sports. But in terms of like grip stuff, um, I think the first time I lifted an inch was a big deal. I didn't realize
Yeah.
at the time what a deal it was. Um, but I think the hubbing stuff is cool, but in terms of like greatest feat with like a hub, I don't think that'll be there unless I would hit 100-pound actual plate like from the ground. That would be that would probably be number one just because no one's ever done it.
Yeah.
But so until that happens, I think grip wise, I don't have like a real standout number one yet.
I mean,
Yeah.
besides the potato lift, of course.
Well, yes, yeah.
How close do you think you are to that 100-pound plate?
Man, it's so weird because it's obviously, as you know, like it really depends on the day,
Yeah.
and then it eats so bad because the hub is so deep, and it's almost like the flask where it kind of rips you open in this webbing. And
Yeah.
so I only had a few real good attempts. I put it on a bench, and so it obviously made not a lot, but somewhat easier getting it a little bit of air off, getting a little bit of air off the bench. But in terms of from the ground, uh, it's hard to say. It's it's very different, I think, than obviously like an Ironman hub or any of the different hubs where you can kind of doorknob it. I can
Right.
do over 100 that way, no problem. But it's just, I think it's the depth of the 100-pound plate that makes it more difficult for me because I've kind of talked to you about before how I have thick hands but not long fingers.
Right.
So I think my fingers are a little bit longer and I could get in there better. it would be closer, but I don't know. We'll find out hopefully.
Yeah, you've got to be close to the Iron Mine Hub world record.
You know, I genuinely don't mess with theirs too much. I think the most I've ever done is like 83 in training.
Okay.
So, and I think someone has over 100 on it. So yeah, that one I'm not close, and and that one's different too. I mean, all the hubs are so different. The height
Yeah.
of the hub, and I've never. Well, I don't know. For the record, you can't doorknob it. You have to go straight fingers.
Yeah,
So
you have to do like the claw grip. Exactly.
yeah, and I don't know how it works because a lot of times, like a long time ago, when we would do the LA Fit Expo, they would have a grip contest over at Old Hog and we'll put one on, and we'd always use new implements. So like whether it be Rolling Thunder or double overhand axle, we'd always have to use a new, brand new implement. So I don't know how that works for the hub because a brand new Ironmind hub, I would think it'd be really tough for someone to get 80.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think the record's like 98 or something, but that's a good point. If that's on a brand new hub, that's ridiculous.
If
Yeah.
that's unbelievable.
Yeah. So on the opposite end of greatest achievement, what's your greatest blunder or injury?
Oh man. I have one time pretty good. I dropped a plate on my toe. I was trying to do a video for this one company and I was trying to catch an object and catch the plate at the same time. And plate went down, big toe. And about 3 weeks later, the toenail fell off. But yeah. It thankfully no injuries like with the fingers yet. So that's been good. Just one toenail lost.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. Not so far.
It's just gross.
Yeah, it would not be fun dropping a 45-pound plate on your toe.
No.
No, not
Well,
at all.
yeah, thankfully it was like the flat way, not straight down. So, but yeah, it wasn't fun.
So what is one of your current athletic goals? What are you going for? What do you want to do in either grip sport or strength in general?
Yeah, so now it's really up in the air. Now that I can do masters, you know, every day is so dependent on my back. Um, if you ever watch any of my videos, getting down to the plate's probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
Just mobility of it and moving. If I was able to get my back in a better position, I would think about doing some like masters level strongman just to stay competing, stay out there with the guys. But for now, I'll probably put a lot of effort into King Kong this year. Last year was the first year like I actually kind of trained some of the events. And I don't mean that like whatever, but I just so busy with everything else, like training other people. You know, my main focus is always just like lifting, and then I do grip stuff after. So if I don't have time, or if I'm running late, or just whatever, so the grip stuff kind of gets pushed to the back because everyone thinks I train so much grip, but I train more weights than anything. And then I quick before 8, 9 o'clock, try to do some kind of video for the internet. And then I'm usually out of time, got to get home or got to put kids to bed or whatever. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's real tough to do so much, but trying to balance it the best I can. So I don't know, maybe putting a lot more effort into King Kong. What's nice is I already have all the implements, which usually sometimes I don't have them right away. Last year was nice because we had all of the same events almost, except they added one. And then this year, I think I already had an Iron Mine block, and I think that's the only new one. I think so. So yeah, so to answer your question, yes, I think I'll put a lot more effort into King Kong this year for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they added the Iron Man block to King Kong. That would be a change of pace a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot, obviously a lot wider than the Flask.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They replace the flask with the Iron Mine block this year?
Yeah, so I think if my memory's right, we have 2.25 crusher, finish ball, the 2.5 jug, which they had like 2-3 years ago, and then the Iron Mind block.
Okay. Yeah, that'll switch it up quite a bit from last
So
year.
it only
Yeah.
don't they usually do 5 events, or are they only doing 4?
No, 5 was a new thing for last year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that way too much, especially like
That
with the
was
number of people. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot. The 5th event, everybody was tuckered out by the time that thing hit.
We got rid of the grab ball. I'm not doing King Kong. It's over. Grab ball's not in it. Count me out.
He loves the grab ball. He's good at it, man. He hooks his thumb in there really well and gets a heck of a
Oh,
lift on that sucker.
no, I like that one too. I mean, once you get some decent chalk on it, that thing it's got some good carryover to the no thumb potato.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I like
a
the
tough
grab ball.
lift. The
Yeah.
no thumb potato, man. I struggle to hit 100 pounds on that sucker. That is just brutal.
I went into it with really high expectations, thinking I was going to do a really big number, and it humbled me quick.
Yeah, that's a finger terror offer for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
To think that Ben Kazi hit 148 or whatever he hit, it's just absurd.
That little guy.
Yeah, he's lightweight.
Well, even Joe, who's just over 200 pounds, was like, 178 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joe's got some serious finger strength on the tips of his fingers. Absolutely. That's climbing though. Climbing gets you there.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think with the exception of maybe Clay Edgen, I think you and Clay Edgen are a couple of the highest potato lifters that aren't climbers.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've talked about it too. And I think it's hand size dependent, where I think a bigger hand kind of hurts you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it forces you into more of a crimp position, that's for sure. And yeah, that a big hand. I've heard and we saw a guy try to do 205 pounds, one of the Oregon strongest men, and he
Couldn't
blew
do
out
it.
a pulley trying to pull that up on his finger. We heard that pop. That was gnarly.
The potato's tough, man, because we talked about like doing the Denny style lift, and like I almost passed out after. Like it was something else, man. It was like my whole body had to work to get those up.
Yeah. Yeah, the potato Denny lift. That is something else.
I love it.
Yeah, I've tried that sucker. It is brutal.
My favorite's the potato Hercules hold.
Oh, sure.
Yep. Yeah, we've set up a Hercules hold and done that with potatoes. We put like I think 110 pounds on each potato, which is fairly heavy for sure. And
Oh,
yeah, that was pretty tough.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun event. So, what are some lifestyle habits that you subscribe to that benefit the average person just trying to get healthy and fit?
the more and more every day I'm trying, like I listen to, like I drive a lot for work, so I'm listening to podcasts like crazy. And so more and more trying to figure out nutrition, what's actually good for you, what works for you. The biggest thing I'm finding out, and a lot of people find out, seed oils are in everything, and how bad the seed oils are for you, whether it be canola, grapeseed oil,
Yeah.
just all oils, all the processed stuff. And so the main thing I work with my people is cutting all that stuff out, doing more of like an animal based diet, all the animal stuff. And then we do obviously some carbs, and most of our carbs are going to be usually like a yellow potato or white rice is the main source of our carbs. But then everything else, a lot of fruits, a lot of meat. And then our sugars, our simple sugars, are obviously the fruits, but then we'll do honey. So I'll put honey on my fruits. A lot of benefits from the honey. And then also maple syrup is good too. So like if you don't like honey, you can put maple syrup on your fruit as well. So there's some different options, but a lot more animal based. I kind of go with the whole evolution thing of like where we start as people more carnivores than eating vegetables and different stuff like that. So for me, that seems to work, and I feel good, and I have good energy. And I think the biggest thing people have to look at is not what foods you like, but what foods your body likes and how you digest them and how you process them. Because so many people are on like a lean, clean diet, but their stomach is just a mess, just a wreck. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and obviously there's different scenarios. When you're getting ready for a bodybuilding show, and stuff like that, where you're eating kind of like that, but and your stomach's going to be a mess. But I think for most people is figuring out what your body likes and what's going to be best for your stomach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's a good point because so many fad diets or diets out there are just geared towards this is what should work. In reality, a lot of people don't digest things correctly or their body reacts to it so much differently than somebody else. And it really is listening to your body and finding out what works for it.
Yeah,
That's a
and
great point.
that's the thing is not one diet is going to work for everyone. Everyone's going to be different, and people are going to have different beliefs that they want to do their diet. But I think to really look at what your body likes, what's not causing inflammation,
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
can you process and feel good, have energy throughout the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like you said, it may not be what you like. Like animal organ isn't always going to taste the best, but
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of nutrition there.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is what I've learned is all the vitamins, nutrients, minerals in the organ meats, the red meats, all that stuff. You can eat just that and be sufficient, and most of your macronutrients and your vitamins and minerals, and then when you're able to add it in more stuff, I feel like that's a real good starting point to feeling good and having more energy.
Yeah. Not only that, I was just thinking even environmental changes between somebody that, might live in Florida versus North Dakota. They're going to have different nutrients that get zapped out of them every day just living life. So, they might have to do something different just because of, the environment they live in, what they are, exposed to. Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's going to affect your vitamins too. If you're in Florida and you're outside, 12 months out of the year, you can get the vitamin D. You can go, get outside more versus where I'm here in Minnesota. It just snowed like 24 inches in the last like 36 hours, and we're not outside much. So then we're supplementing more vitamin D and
Yeah.
different things that people in Florida might get. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're dealing with snow up here in the Northwest too.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got like 10 inches or something in 24 hours ourselves, which is kind of unheard of here, but it's been fun
Yeah.
dealing with that.
Yeah, thankfully it's all done here. We're all plowed out, so now we're in a good position.
Yeah, our whole city shut down. They don't know what the hell's going on. They don't know what to do. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
It doesn't
same.
snow here as frequently as where you live, so our infrastructure isn't as prepared.
Oh, yeah.
So you've been training a long time. What training methods have you stumbled upon that some people might say that it's unconventional or different or weird, even that has greatly helped your training?
In terms of like grip, people what they might think is weird is I never trained grip. I barely trained grip. Everything's always come from just doing strongman, picking up odd objects, farmers carries, farmers holds, different objects like that. That's where all my grip strength has come from. And obviously some of it's genetic based, and people are going to have different size hands and different things like that. But so much of my training and stuff I do, it's just implemented from doing strongman events and strongman training.
So have you stumbled on anything different that even like in the strongman world, but people be like, wow, I've never even thought about that, or that's kind of different. That's helped your strongman game or anything like that?
Um, there was some carryover with maybe just different inch stuff, messing around with the inch and having carry over to and doing different stuff with the axle. Obviously, because when I was competing, we would see a lot of, axle clean and press, different stuff like that. So doing, double overhand axle and having the grip strength there would have great carryover to being able to clean versus having to continental your axle up.
Right.
that's going to be real beneficial. And obviously, if you only have 60 to 75 seconds and you can save time by actually cleaning it, absolutely huge. That's been a great benefit from training grip. But I don't know. I think strongman has a greater carryover to grip training than grip training to strongman. My opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I see it so much because there'll be grip guys where their back will give out on a double overhand axle before their grip does.
Yeah.
You know, and to a strongman that doesn't even like make sense, you know, because if you're, I mean, let's say you can do 200 kilo double over an axle. Obviously, most strongman can easily deadlift 200 kilos, no problem. So, the strongman I think has a lot more carryover.
Well, yeah. I mean, the most impressive athlete that we've recently had at one of our grip contests was Gabby Dixon,
Okay.
and I don't know if you saw her performance on the Hercules hold recently. It was just outlandish. She beat Martins Lisis on it. She beat everybody except for Mark Felix in the event
Yeah.
with the same weight as the men, like
Yeah.
straight up
Wow.
same weight. It was absurd. Yeah, she got over a minute, like a minute 8 seconds on the weight the men normally use in strongman.
Yeah. Giants
Yeah,
Live.
just
Yeah.
monstrous. Yeah, Giants Live. Yeah, she came over to our contest and like you said, I mean the strongman carryover is insane. It had we had the one hand blue fat grip deadlift in it. Um, so that was one of the events, and she like beat the current women's world record by like 20% or some
Oh yeah.
ludicrous amount like that. And then Saxon was in there and she monstered Saxon, and now she's even gotten stronger on Saxon. I've seen some of her training videos on that, but yeah, her strongman carryover, she just came in there like it was very
Yeah.
comfortable for her.
It'll be interesting what she does at the Arnold because she is competing in grip at the Arnold. So that'll be exciting to see.
Yeah. I think what the difference between the two is so much of the strongman stuff is time under tension, you know, carrying weird things
Yeah.
for a set amount of time versus like when I go in the garage, I want to just do like the most weight I can do, you know, a max on whatever grip implement I'm messing with. Like, oh, what can I do today? And so I think it's hard sometimes on the grip stuff to do more reps and more time under tension and holds and stuff like that. Where I think strongman kind of forces you because you have to. You don't have a choice. You got to carry that object a certain distance, anything like that.
Think, maybe like open hand slapping watermelons to train for slap fight champion. Might increase your rolling thunder. Nothing absurd like that.
No.
But if you could start training all over again today with what you know now, is there anything you would do different and why?
Absolutely. So I would do way more like glute work and more abs, more glutes and abs. I feel like, to me, my opinion is my back injury came from like my back being so strong, the rest of my body being so strong, and my glutes being so weak, and my back having to do double time to kind of like compensate for my glutes. And I think that's what kind of caused my back injury because the rest of my body was strong. Obviously, I was doing strongman, everything was good. But I think if I would have implemented more planks, more reverse hyper, even glute bridges, different glute work, anything you can think of, more lunges, different things like that, I think it could really elongated my strongman career. But everything we did at the time, there wasn't this huge fitness craze of fitness chicks doing glute stuff all the time.
Right.
And when I started doing squats are bad, squats are going to hurt your knees, and lifting heavy is so bad for you. So it wasn't something we thought about or did, and I wish I would have implemented that more.
No, I think you got a point. I mean,
I guess that's the one good thing that came from the Kardashians.
Yeah, there you go.
All these women wanted these big old booties, And
Yeah.
glute work became extremely popular all over the internet.
Yeah. And I think it's one of the most important things because so many people have back problems. And if you look at them,
Yep.
especially, the old man, bigger upper body and then no butt. And so
Yep.
that doing 2 to 3 times the work it needs to because there's no glutes.
Yeah, and I think it's so easy to miss. I mean, you could do leg day and completely miss glutes, and then you do all your upper body,
Yeah.
and you do, back training, but you never actually specifically hit glutes. That's never been a thing.
Yep.
And we never try to, get that big rounded booty as a dude. It's like we don't need that. We need big arms, big chest, and big legs to hold them, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah, it was
and the
never
way
part of the classic physique. It was never. I was saying it was never part of the male classic physique. He's right about that. We never thought about that. Go on.
yeah, yeah. And for me, like I squatted so vertical and so deep, so I took my glutes out of it because I could
Yeah.
squat weights, but I think being so vertical and going so deep, you kind of take your glutes out of it, and it becomes more quads and hamstrings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Quad
yeah, it's
dominant,
just,
exactly.
yeah, it just really got overlooked.
Yeah, you do quads, hamstrings, and then you go then you go to chest, back, shoulders, arms, and you throw in abs once in a while. So but
Yeah,
but we're not doing lunges around the gym like all these, gals are now. And it's like, maybe I should have done that.
yes, absolutely. I would encourage everyone to try to add it in. As goofy as it might look at the gym, doing these fitness chick type exercises, but it's so important and it's going to be unbelievable the relief people feel in their back because it's not
Oh,
doing all the work.
yeah. I mean, they're huge muscles and a big part of your posterior chain. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy to think weren't working them directly.
yeah. Well, and
That's
we
how I
spend,
get my deadlift up. I need a bigger butt. That's how I need to get my deadlift up.
it will make a huge,
Probably help.
Oh, and now I know what I'm doing. Getting that band, stretching that.
yeah,
So what do you think is the most important piece in your home gym and why?
most important piece. I don't think well, I, it's probably number two. I have like a Roman chair, like a 45 back extension. I think that's probably number two. I don't have a reverse hyper yet, but I want to add one. I think that would be number one. But I think the back extension, like 45 Roman chair, is so good because that's going to hit your low back, your glutes, and then obviously the reverse hyper. Um, those would be by far the most important.
Yeah, I've thought about getting a reverse hyper myself.
Yeah.
It's extremely important. I mean, we've actually have like somewhere in our genetics there's been some back issues, I know, on dad's side or something like that. But nonetheless, I mean, if you freaking want a strong back, the reverse hyper is a huge help.
Since they didn't have a butt.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. You got to get that reverse hyper. So yeah, we pretty much covered all our questions. So did you have any questions for us, or is there anything else that you wanted to add before we let you go?
I just think what's cool is I think the little kid contest you put on at the end of the year that I hope you do again. Um, you I don't you did it the year before, right?
Which contest?
Were you put on like for like the little kids, the different potato stuff for the little kids?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Online contest, and we always have them do our main contest at the Golden Potato.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you again because my son did it, and then you sent us those old coins, which I thought were
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So I thought that was just the neatest thing, He might not understand it now, but then he'll look, in a few years when he understands, he'll be like, wow, this coin is like 1,000 years old.
Yeah. How old's your son?
I just turned 7.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old's Peyton?
Peyton just turned 8 not too long ago.
Yeah. So Yeah, he's got
She
one
loves
about
it.
that age. Yeah.
Her favorite event, of course, is the finish ball now. So she likes
Oh.
that. But I mean, both my kids love competing and doing competitions when we just always do a kids event alongside ours. So it's a lot of fun. But we get the kids in there and they have great fun lifting and doing all that. We really strive to make that a thing.
So
Just
we'll have to run an online grip kids grip contest each year.
just get the next generation going, get them excited about something and lifting weights. So
Yeah, man, I think it's so cool you do that. So I appreciate it. So thank you.
yeah, my 11-year-old's starting to get big into lifting weights, and he's a big kid, so it's going to be fun seeing him definitely train hard this year and get big and excited about it and see the carryover that it's going to do to his martial arts and how he's going to go against these kids that don't train hard and he's going to throw them around like they're nothing. So it'll be fun to see.
Oh yeah, you just grab on and throw them down. Easy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yes, for having me.
Yeah, we had a wonderful chat. So, yeah, we'll catch you later.
Yeah, we're excited to see what you do in King Kong for sure.
Absolutely. So. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you continue to dominate on the Golden Potato too.
You got it. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Absolutely,
Have
Joel.
a good night.
Good one.
All right. Bye.